guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Vicky Natalia. You can definitely just call me Vicky. So for a lot of people that do not know me, I am actually 23 years old. I turned 23 in April, April 15th to be exact, which makes me an Aries, which is the best sign ever. Don't come for me. And I can truly say that so far, so good. My 20s have been, I guess, what a normal 20-year-old would experience. You know, just having fun, living life, learning new things, life lessons that sometimes mom and dad are kind of too scared to let you in on. I know for me growing up, coming from a Hispanic family, very loving, but also overprotective as well at the same time. They've always told me, enjoy your youth, you know, enjoy being a child, don't grow up too fast. And of course, for any child or teenager, all you're thinking about is being in your 20s, getting out of mom and dad's house, being free to do whatever, whenever you want, being able to go wherever, and being able to eat whatever you want, whenever you want as well. My personal favorite. There are some things that I really was not told about that I would be experiencing in my 20s, and that's exactly what this video is going to be about. Like I always want my videos to be, I want this to be a conversation rather than me talking to you guys. So anywhere in the video, if you have experienced something that you can relate to that I'm talking about, go ahead, leave a comment, even leave a like, and also let me know some things that you have experienced in your 20s that you really were not prepared to go through. The first point that I'm gonna make is something really vague. It's nothing too specific. However, the overall change and growth that you will be going through in your 20s is something that I really wasn't told about. Of course, you wake up every day, you look different, you know, you're probably starting to weigh different, life's getting more crazy, and with that, no one really tells you about the internal changes that you go through. Once you're in your 20s, you definitely are considered an adult and become more independent, more of your own person. And while you are becoming your own person, at the same time, you're really finding that person that you're becoming, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. You start to realize things that you once liked aren't things that you're really into now. You start finding out new things that you never even knew existed that, you know, have probably become your favorite things, whether that's food, music, hanging around a different type of person, and everything in between that. The second thing that was not really expressed about your 20s is the great FOMO. Now, for those who do not know what FOMO is, it is the fear of missing out. That can include everything from missing out on going out with your friends to missing out on like the latest and greatest fashion trend. I know a lot of 20-year-olds, including myself, that do have a FOMO about moving out. And it makes sense just because moving out does symbolize and mean a lot of things. It means that you are completely independent from your parents, and that's basically just like a new chapter that you begin for yourself. Now, even though FOMO is a thing, there actually is a counterpart to it called LOMO, I believe, and that's love of missing out, something related to that. And this is going to be something that I'm going to actually try to switch out for the word FOMO, just LOMO. So with me feeling as though I am missing out on moving out, which will come soon enough, I'm going to incorporate LOMO in there somewhere just so that I can actually enjoy the time that I'm still living at home with family and actually like cherish these moments. The next thing is, I'm not too sure how many people are going to react well to this. However, when you are in your 20s and you know, have access to tons of information through the internet, which is like the number one thing, even just good old books, you know, you do tend to shy away from the traditional way that you were taught things and just the traditional things that you were taught in school, period. Beyond not needing to know the mass volume of a triangle or a rectangle or just all these random shapes that I will never measure in my life, I feel as though the one subject that was just taught not wrong, but a little bit sugar-coated and fabricated was history. No shade, no tea to all of my history teachers out there if you guys are watching this. Teachers in general honestly do an awesome job at contributing to our future by teaching our future. In high school, I was never taught about major events in history such as Emmett Till. I was never taught in depth about the 13th Amendment and what that truly does mean for all Americans, especially the ones in our jail systems, and just other countless stories and really monumental times in American history and just world history that were not really expressed to us. If you were to really pay attention to what is being taught to us versus what actually did happen, once you do get into everything, you will see that some dots just don't connect. The fourth thing that we are really never told about in our 20s is that adult friendships are actually really hard to upkeep and maintain. Actually makes total sense, just because once you enter your adulthood, you get a job, you find a significant other, you take on these new hobbies and these new interests in your life. So of course, some old friends that probably don't match up with some new things that you're into are sometimes going to be left behind. Not saying you're going to completely dump them, but they are going to be not with you as much as when you were teenagers. So with schedules clashing, you know, new interests, I guess the common interest, you know, kind of falling behind and sizzling out, being close to some older friends is going to be hard. But the great thing about older friendships is that if they were really meant for you, then you know that they were, because they actually have stood the test of times and the test of life, period. You don't have to talk to them every day. Just as long as you guys have that connection, they will sustain in today's world. Now, the fifth thing, I definitely was not keeping count. Hopefully this is number 5. The fifth thing that I can't say wasn't expressed to me, but just wasn't told in a different way, is school, whether or not to continue your education. Depending on what family background you come from, school is probably the only way that they see you to be successful in. And I'm definitely not saying every single family is like that. It's just, you know, most families nowadays, they do push school on their children. Truly say that I'm not here to offend nobody, okay? I'm just saying school is not the only way that you can be successful in life. With the internet alone, there is a lot of money to be made online. And beyond just online, there are tons of things that you can do in your life that just do not require schooling, such as real estate, stocks, and just building a business. And there's probably tons more careers out there that you just don't need schooling for. I do suggest that everyone that does come out of high school, entering their 20s, they do their extensive research on just different career paths that could possibly not require schooling. And that way, it really does save time and money. The sixth thing that really wasn't expressed to me about my 20s is that some things just are not going to be worth your energy. And what I mean is just some situations that you're in, some people that you deal with, some jobs are just not worth your time. So therefore, you are allowed to move on, you know, from a situation, from a person, from a job. Some things are just not worth your time and energy, just because those are some things that are extremely valuable and you cannot get it back. So bottom line is just do you, do what you want, don't waste your time. The last thing, I believe it's number 8, I wasn't even keeping count, but the last thing that I can't really say no one didn't tell me about this. This is probably the only thing on this list that someone did tell me about, but you're gonna realize that you're actually really young still. Even though you have taken on all of these responsibilities, these new interests and things that, like I said, you once liked aren't liked anymore, you're just changing and evolving. It really just means that your life actually begins now. I do feel as though once you do come to terms with that, and you truly do start to just move differently. You really just start to see things in a different way, in a different light. I know for me, I definitely did go through it, like I said in my last video. I definitely did go through a time where I basically had, like, I guess, anxiety. I don't like I said, y'all, I don't like to self-diagnose myself with anything. But I can say that I was experiencing, you know, like anxiety attacks of just, you know, figuring out my future, figuring out what I wanted to do, who I am. I've had existential crises. Doesn't sound right, but that's the word, y'all. That's only because I felt as though I was old. Like, here I am, 23, not where I wanted to be just yet, not where I want to be just yet. And I'm just like, okay, so what am I doing? What is my purpose? And I realize it's okay to be going through that. It's okay to have these thoughts, just because I'm young still. I'm only 23. Whoever is in their 20s, if you're going through that, please let me know, so we can actually have a conversation about that. I would love to relate to people who feel the same way. And like I said, just remember, we're still young. We're basically babies in like older adults' eyes. And you know, it's life, y'all. It's life. So that is the video for today. It may be a little long, I'm not too sure. Hopefully it's no more than 10 minutes. I'm gonna push it. It's probably not gonna be that, but you know, it is what it is. Thank you very much for sticking with me. I really do want to hear your guys' feedback on, you know, just some things that I said, and how you guys feel in your 20s. And even my older folks, go ahead and comment some things that you've experienced in your 20s that you were not prepared to experience. I don't care if it's the most common thing ever. Just go ahead, let me know. Let's have a conversation. I'm not talking to you guys, I'm talking with you guys. Thank you once more for coming back, and see you next time.